It's not how clever and creative your concept is. It's how clever and creative you can be in figuring out a way to demonstrate to me that there's a there there.
She says, I have a retail concept, but no money. How do I launch when facing high overhead?
So I've got a pretty straightforward relationship with asking for money. Is that these days I've kind of learned there's really no excuse for not being able to demonstrate that what premise you're raising the money on is in fact true. When we started Netflix, it was a different story. I mean, this was nearly 20 plus years ago. Back then, if you wanted to prove that your idea actually had some validity, you had to build it. And then putting together even a simple e-commerce website took us 6 months, took us nearly $1 million. And these days, there's no excuse. Whether it's a retail concept, whether it's an app, whether it's a service business, what I found is the most effective way to raise money is to figure out how to demonstrate that your key assumption is correct. So I don't know what your retail concept is. The fact that you're calling it a concept makes me believe that it is not something that's been done before, that you have a new idea. And what I'd love to see you be creative about is there a way for you to test that without actually doing it, without actually having to go and get physical space, without actually having to hire people to get inventory? Can you prove to me, Mr. Investor, that this idea you have is not just hand-waving what a great idea, but in fact is something concrete? And I know that's easy to say, but in fact, I think it's one of the fundamental skills that any entrepreneur needs to have, which is it's not how good your idea is. It's not how clever and creative your concept is. It's how clever and creative you can be in figuring out a way to demonstrate to me that there's a there there. And as a last example of what I mean by this, let's take, someone came to me most recently and they said, I have this great idea for a restaurant. I won't go into the details of it, but it was a kind of a new model of how you might operate a food service establishment. And they were asking that same question. It's going to take me hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm going to have to lease the space. They want a year lease. I'm going to have to do the full build out, hire people, advertising, promotion. And it was like, whoa, 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 let's slow this down. The concept here, if you begin parsing it apart, there's one small piece that's unique. Let's figure out if we can test that unique one. And in their case, it was doing a pop-up. It was not, in fact, doing it in a storefront. It was doing it as a standalone street side thing. And her concept was, in fact, something you could try in this very limited fashion. Now, was it repeatable? No. Is it scalable? No. But it allows them to demonstrate the one novel part of their idea actually could work. And then, when they went to raise money, this was not, imagine, if you will, how incredible this will be. They could concretely point to where they had demonstrated with real customers that their idea was real. So that part was now established. And of course, the rest of it has already been proven. I would encourage you to try the same thing. Stop thinking about how do I take my concept as I've envisioned it in my head and make it real, and how do I raise the money to do that? Break it apart. Go, what is the one thing I'm really doing differently? Is there a quick, cheap, and easy way you can test that? And with that in hand, you'll find the fundraising piece goes way, way, way easier.